Obviously, coming off a bad performance, we had to figure out how to get our guys back engaged with playing the way they were playing, the last 5 or so games prior to that. So we've basically put the foot back on the gas in terms of the little things, and just made sure that we were holding them accountable a little bit more. They were obviously disappointed with their performance, as well as a bunch of other people, but it's one game that now we have to say, okay, how do we not let that happen again? What are the things that we need to do to keep playing our best basketball moving into March? And so we've identified those things. And I think we had a really good practice yesterday, so looking for another one today, and then a much better performance on Wednesday.
Is it one of those games where you don't harp on it too much, though, because you want them to move on from it?
It's a tricky formula because I think it depends on your team and what your team can handle. I would think that a more senior-laden team with more experience, you could maybe give them a little bit more of those details of what went wrong, and what were you thinking, and why, and how do we fix it. There's something to be said for sweeping it down on the rug and moving forward. But then there's also the school of thought that says, no, we need to look at this, and we need to figure this thing out and why. And I think we did kind of probably somewhere in between. We definitely watched some cleanup on the game, got back on the floor right away, and then started to focus on Fresno State. So we were probably somewhere in the middle with this particular team.
You talk about the youth of this team. Are you shocked this late in the season that you're talking about shot selection and stuff like that?
No, not really. I think that goes all the way through when you're playing professional basketball. It's you can constantly improve in the area of decision making. So I think that you're always learning in that area. So I don't think I think even our younger guys are going to be hearing that when they're seniors.
Going against Fresno State, Terrell Carter, for whatever reasons, played some of his best games against UNLV. What is it about him that makes him a particular tough matchup?
Well, he's he's a tough kid. He's physical. He's his size, obviously, he uses it well. He's at least against us, he's very efficient and skilled around the basket. You look at his overall numbers, you go, when he played us, I wouldn't think that would be his numbers. He's an all-conference player when you look at how he's performed against us in the past, as well. So I think it really comes back down to identifying what we're going to do different to try to, just be more efficient at guarding him and maybe take him out of his rhythm, I think, a little bit. But Bryson, is it Bryson or Bryce?
Bryson. It's
Bryson, right? Yeah, he's a talent too. And then you look at both Taylors who can shoot it, and Bittner as well. They have a lot of depth. So I don't think there's any one particular player that you got to say, hey, we got to stop this one guy. We have to collectively be really connected on defense and know your personnel and what their strengths and weaknesses are, and try to do our best job of guarding them collectively.
Brandon and Shakur, that's the first time seeing him last time. How much do you think that benefits them facing him the second time now?
Well, I think both teams always benefit the second time around. It's just which one's going to make the adjustments. So, I think it was. I think it would be a benefit, but I also think it was his first time facing them as well. So he's got some things that he knows that he was successful at, and he had a couple of possessions that he wasn't successful. So he's going to try to bring it as well. But I think he seems to be pretty much a team guy. All the guys do. It seems like they have really good chemistry. They really share the ball. They play for others. They play like experienced guys, are supposed to play the game. So it'll be a tough challenge for us.
You said when you got here that you wanted to get people into the arena. For the crowds this year, has it been what you expected, or better, or worse, or what's your take on that?
It's part of the process. I think the more success you have in this town, the more people will, jump on and hang on. I think it's better than last year. I think I don't even know all the numbers. I haven't tracked them, but I know that it feels better. And I think that as we continue to grow, that's part of one of the components of growing the program is growing the crowds, obviously.
How does that impact the players, knowing that they have, a home court advantage? Does that help, early in a game, or
I
what does
think
it?
it does. I think, everyone has an ego, right? So when you have people behind just cheering you on, it's motivational. It's inspirational to have a group of people, fans, and family that are there cheering you on. I mean, it should give you an extra little boost, you would think, right? So I think the more we grow it, the more the energy we can create inside Thomas and Mack will be good for us. All right.
Thanks, Marv.
The main focus of the team in the last couple of days since that tough loss at San Diego.
Just to stay positive and stay as a team. Not pointing no fingers and practice hard and so we can get the best out of the opportunity that we have ahead of us.
Practices any different in any way? Was there like a different feel or energy after a game like that, or do you guys try to keep it as much same as you can?
The coaching staff stuff they've been on us, making sure that just we get everything right. Even if you don't do it right, do it hard and show effort. So some plays we took off in the game, some possessions we just didn't do the right thing. So they just in practice just on us heavy, and I appreciate it because it's bringing out the best of us in practice.
You say you took off some possessions, and what was it? Was there?
It wasn't like purposely taking off. It's like sometimes like you don't do what you're supposed to do like 100%, probably like 75. It's not like you're telling yourself to do it. It's just certain times happen, and then they capitalize off it. So
You face Terrell Carter tomorrow night. He's obviously a really tough matchup. What is it about him that makes it especially difficult?
He's just very active, high energy, real rugged and tough. So you got those combinations in a person that plays basketball and he's athletic. Then you get a nice player.
You saw the kind of crowd that they had at San Diego. Can that impact the game when there's a big home crowd that's into it and loud, and can that impact the first couple minutes or the game? How does that have an effect on the game?
I mean, honestly, the crowd, all our coaches around the world always have said the crowd doesn't dictate the way you play, your energy, anything, but to have a crowd there, that's nice. But we're playing for people that's on our bench, people that's on the floor. If a crowd comes, then that's nice. We'll play for them at that. But if it's a big crowd, we're not gonna do anything different that we wouldn't do if they wasn't there.
It's only a couple times maybe this year that Thomas Mack has had a crowd, like that. Arizona game, something where there's a big atmosphere. Does that pump up, the players when you're running out and there's you can just feel like an energy in the building?
Yeah, because I heard last year they didn't have that many fans, but to come out, people like, oh, this is a nice crowd, it's a nice fan base. It just shows the appreciation that they have for our season and the accolades that we have provided for them, and how we just.
Especially coming off this loss, how important would it be to win tomorrow night to put that behind you back on the right track?
It would mean a lot, for the coaching staff, even us as players. We was a little down after the game. It took a lot of us to lose by that much. We get this one, right on the track, we right where we need to be, and then just keep going, keep letting it tumble over, and see how the rest of the season goes.